Hi, how are you? Um, so forgiveness. We are oftenly told to forgive because if you don't forgive, you'll go to hell. If you don't forgive, you're holding blessings out of your life. If you don't forgive, all these things are said about forgiveness. But what we are not oftenly told about forgiveness is how to forgive. It is hard to forgive. One thing you have to recognize when you want actually to forgive someone is what they did. And you have to recognize that they hurt you, they shamed you. And even when you're like, maybe you want to forgive someone and you're going before God and you're like, God, I want to forgive this person. One thing you have even to appreciate, and feel free to talk about it with God. Tell God what happened to you. Talk about it. Be in that position where you feel hard. You feel hard. In your place of prayer, first acknowledge that. For example, if you're divorced, first acknowledge that this man married me, gave me children, slept with other women, and later on divorced me. If you have been raped, you have to acknowledge the things that were taken away from you. All that pain, all that shame, everything that you are feeling is that you have to acknowledge, because people are like, just forgive and forget. And it's not easy to forgive. People go through so much in the hands of other people. And forgiveness is a process. It's not easy to forgive. But the Bible says, when Jesus says, come to me, you who are heavy laden, come to me. When he says that, these are some of the things that Jesus is saying, bring those things to me, I'll take them away from you. Because something like forgiveness, I will give my own story. I was personally very hurt at a young age, and I grew up very bitter towards this individual until the day I unpacked all of that in my prayer when I was praying, and I unpacked everything. And I remember in that time of prayer, I remember like it was like I was narrating to God things that were done to me. And I'm like, okay, now I want to forgive them. Unpack it. Let it all go. Let God take the pain and the shame and all these things that have been caused to you. Let God take away all of that. And one thing about forgiveness, you might have to do that several times in prayer before you completely let it go. But you'll have to notice that God is the one who helps you forgive. Forgiveness, sometimes it's a miracle. It's not easy to forgive. It is not easy to forgive. Sometimes it's a miracle. Sometimes it will take the power of God for you to forgive other people. Because sometimes really bad things were done to you, and it is not easy for you to forgive. It will take the hand of God. It will take the power of God. It will take the help of God for you to let go of those people. So even forgiveness, even in those things that you feel you can never forgive, I challenge you today, take it before God. Let God be the person who will help you. Let God be the person who will take away that burden of unforgiveness. Let God be the one who will help you forgive those people. Because once you step out of unforgiveness, let me tell you a secret, something I realized. Forgiveness is a state. It's like being in a certain place. Same level 1, like watu wengine kwa ground floor, uko level 1. Yeah, that is literally forgiveness. Because once you go before God and you forgive all those people, and then you realize you don't actually hate them anymore, and the pain is gone, the shame is gone, and then you come to a place where you have really and truly forgiven, you realize you can never go back, because you're very careful not to carry anyone else. You're very careful not to not forgive anyone else. It becomes a state of your life where you don't take things to heart, where it's so easy for you to just forgive people and move on. But for you to get to that state of forgiveness where you actually have forgiven and truly forgiven, because for being a person of, it's a state, it's a place where you get, and you realize as you go on in your life, you can never hate people. No matter what they do to you, you have become in that state of forgiving. But before you get there, you will have to let go. You will have to let go. And you will have to let God help you. You will have to let God help you. And let me repeat this again. You have to recognize that you are actually the victim. Something was done to you. You know, people don't tell you that. People tell you just forgive. You will go to hell if you don't forgive. I don't know, you are blocking your blessings if you don't forgive. Forgiveness will take you to hell. That is what you are told all the time. But nobody tells you. Acknowledge, even in your own self. Say, hapa nilikosewa. And as we have already talked about before, it's important that you do this with God in your time of prayer. Do your forgiving in your time of prayer. Let the sweet Spirit of God help you. Let God Himself help you out of unforgiveness. You don't know the burden you are carrying until you lay it down. The day you will lay down unforgiveness, you realize, oh my goodness, I have actually been carrying something so heavy. It is so freeing and so sweet and so great to just live a life where you don't hate anyone. Like you truly, honestly know within you, I don't hate anyone. And no matter how hard the devil keeps coming after that, you realize it's impossible for you to hate, because now God has gotten into your issue and God has set your heart free. And you can no longer catch feelings or carry people in your heart. No matter what has been done to you, take it to God. Take it to God in prayer. Today, purpose to let go of your dad who hurt you, of your mom, of your hubby, your daughter who has really hurt you. Be determined to let go of people who have hurt you. Be determined to find peace. Let me tell you, there is so much peace and freedom in a place where you know the only person you have a grudge on is the devil. Like you don't hate people. May God help you. May God bring you to that place of forgiveness where you are able to forgive everyone in your life. Especially those kind of hearts. There are some kind of hearts that are really deep. They really cut deep. Like rape. Like someone who stole a huge sum of money you really worked hard to get. Abuse, any kind of abuse. Betrayal, rejection. Some wounds cut deep. Some wounds cut deep. They make you cry. They fill you with bitterness. But I want to tell you today, let God hear you. Go before God. Go before God in prayer and let God know all you're feeling. That is one way. That is how you give God your burdens. That is how you give God your burdens. That is how. Go before God. Tell Him how you feel. Tell Him how you feel even towards that person. Go before God. For example, you can go and say, God, you know what? My boyfriend hurt me. He cheated on me with my friend. He did this and this and this. And I feel bad. Right now, I don't like him so much. I even hate him. But I want to let him go. I want to be free of him. You cannot let other people determine the state of your heart. Let them go. Let them go. Forgiveness is not easy. But forgiveness is possible. It is possible for you to live a life where you have no pain in your heart towards other people. God can lift that up too. The good thing is, God knows. He sees to the depths of your heart. He sees how you feel. He sees everything. He knows everything that has been done to you. You just need to bring it to Him. Remember, God is gentle. He will not take away that pain from you if you are not giving it to Him. Give Him that pain, that shame. Give it to Him, and He will take it away. Just today, I challenge you, just take time, take 2 minutes today. Kneel down. Just talk to God. Talk to your Father. Let Him know everything that you're feeling. Let Him know everything that you're feeling. And then ask Him to help you. You will be surprised. It is simple. The devil through some doctrines has managed to make us think that we need to do it by ourselves. That's a lie. You cannot do it by yourself. Even forgiveness, you cannot achieve forgiveness on your own. You need God to get there. You need God. We need God. Forgiveness. You need God to be able to forgive. You need God to set yourself free from unforgiveness. It's possible. It's doable. Imagine just being a person who has no grudge. Any maisha yako unaishi, you have no grudge towards anyone, not a single human being. You have no grudge. You can be free. Okay? Let's do it. Thank you.